All right, let's talk about our hamstrings, the muscles in the back of our leg, the ones that get stretched when that leg is forwards in our split. So we can see that our hamstrings attach from our sits bones, the little bony part at the very bottom of your pelvis. They run down the backside of our leg. Some of them cross to the outside of the outer shin. Some of them connect to the inside of the inner shin bone. But for all intents and purposes, we want to know that they cross the knee joint. So when our hamstrings contract, that helps pull the shin towards our butt, bends the knee. They also can help pull our whole leg backwards, that's hip extension. And when that leg comes forwards in our front split and that leg is straight, you can see that they're pulled a little bit longer. This is the stretched position. This is also why when we bend that knee, that adds just a little bit of slack in those hamstring muscles, and it can make it feel more comfortable in that front leg. Let's take a look at our hip flexors, the muscles that come across the front of our hip that are responsible for pulling that knee towards our chest. This is a gross simplification of what's happening in our hip. There's 3 major muscles that work on hip flexion and a couple of minor ones that support it as well. This is more of an approximation of our psoas, which comes out the bottom of our lumbar spine, attaching to the outside of the vertebrae, and our iliacus, which comes across the inside of kind of the rim of our hip bone. What we care about is they start kind of at the top of our hip, they curve over the front of our hip bone, and they attach on the inside edge of our thigh bone. So you can see that when they contract, they help pull our knee towards our chest. How that translates into our splits is when this leg is being pulled behind us and those hip bones stay pointing forwards, you can see that stretching the muscles over the front of our hip bone. This is also why when you start to pull this leg backwards, sometimes your hips like to rotate out to the side. That makes it an easier stretch for those hip flexors and they don't have to pull quite as tight. Keeping those hip bones totally forward stretches those hip flexors a little bit more and a little more challenging.